emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. At this time, they moved me out of the unit, out of DA, because it turned into an honor unit, and I'm in EA. But they split the whole unit up. They moved everybody out, and they moved this dude named Booman to EB. Booman is a GD from the Midwest. I don't know exactly if he's from St. Louis or Chicago or wherever, but I met him in Atwater. We did time together in Atwater. I used to see him on the yard and stuff. And when I got sent to Lewisburg in the Smooth program, the first block they put me in was a B block. And he lived right across the street, across the hall from me. When I got there, I recognized him, he recognized me. Anywhere you go, when you get transferred, you have to wait for 2 to 4 weeks to get your property. So when I come in, Booman and the celly, a dude named T.Y. I'm not sure if T.Y. was a GD, but for sure he was from the Midwest. And when I got there, when he recognized me, he sent me some hygiene and some envelopes and a pen and paper for me to be able to write my wife. He was there when my celly spazzed out and we got took to the dry cell. And after the dry cell, I moved to another unit over there in Lewisburg. But fast forward, when I showed up in Florence, he was in my block in DA. And we know each other from other spots. So, every time when you move to a different prison, dudes that know you from other spots, and you cool with them, even if, you guys weren't friends or close or anything like that, there's always I don't want to say a bond, but out of respect, they try to look out for each other just because, especially if they know you're a good dude, But after we all got split up and when everybody went to different unit, he ended up in EB, I ended up in EA. And at this time, or before this time, the dude that ran the yard for the GD was a dude named Nino. But him and a dude named Lowe, they got caught up because come to find out, I did a lot of business with them, but come to find out, somebody told on them about them having a staff because, they had the package. So Nino and Lowe and a couple other GDs got swooped up and went to the SHU. And it left a void in the leadership within the organization as far as that compound is concerned. So somebody else stepped up, or that just came on the yard and had the keys for the GD. Now this particular dude, I know nothing about. I never met him because, the yard is split. If you're not really in the block with each other, you might see each other on the rec, going and coming from rec. But outside of that, you're not really kicking it with anybody outside of your unit. So this dude, this new shot caller, he catch himself talking about he's cleaning house. That there was dudes on the compound that was foul and whatnot. So he took it upon himself to clean house. Well, on this particular day, I'm on yard 1. I'm sitting on the steps. And I'm up there with another GD dude named Shy G. Now, Shy G, he ended up being a fucking lame. He came from the FCI, ran up a bunch of bills in Florence while we were there, and then ended up checking in. But at this particular time, he had owed me some money. So we're out there in the yard chopping it up, trying to figure out, because he was supposed to have go to commissary for me, and he only brought half of my stuff back. So we meet up at the yard, we're kicking it, just chopping it up, trying to figure out how we can figure this stuff out. It was no big deal. I'm not swearing him or anything, but we just happen to be on the yard to make sure that we get on the same page. Well, while we're on the yard, the deuces go off in EB. And you see all the COs running. They're running over there. And they're running. And they're running. It's going on for a good minute. You know, usually when the COs run in and you see the rest of them that's coming from behind start walking, then you know that the situation is already being contained or whatever. But on this particular day, because from where I'm sitting on the yard, I can see the lieutenant patio. If anybody's ever been in Florence, again, we're on a mountain. So lieutenant patio in yard 1, we're on a hill, and then there's stairs that goes down into the unit. So you see the COs, the first group of COs running over there. You know, when they run, we all get up, we all walk to the fence just to see who they bring out. But again, the COs kept running. The ones that lagged behind, you know, a few minutes later, they're still running. And they're running over there. And then next thing you know, we see the medic, they're bringing the stretcher. Because usually the stretchers comes last. Because no one knows what's going on when the deuces go off. So the COs, they just respond to the emergency. And then if it's necessary, they'll hit for the stretcher and the PA. And this time, they got the stretcher and the PA, they're running with the stretcher. They're running to the block. And they're in there for however how long. You know, we're just on the fence watching to see, you know, who it is that got into the incident. And then next thing you know, they got a body on the stretcher running back to medical, right? So it turns out, you know, Side G knew what was going on. I was like, hey, he's like, damn, I just sent dude some money. But, you know, later I found out it was just some bullshit. It was just throw off because he didn't have all my money. So he was saying that he said sent Booman some money, but Booman just got hit. Now the dude they had in place as a GD, in place for the GD, had put a jacket on Booman saying that Booman was working with the police on the streets. Now I know Booman. You know, everywhere I go where there's a GD car, the GDs, they check the people's paperwork. And they run them through whatever program they run them through. You know, the GD, as far as in the penitentiary, they're militant. You know, they have their workout schedule. You got to be on the yard working out. You have programs. I mean, they had a pretty good little organization, pretty structured as far as their leadership goes, their soldiers, and their routine. You know, when Nino was on the yard, all the GDs ate. You know, every GD in my block had a sack serving. So they're pretty organized and they're a pretty tight-knit little crew, but that doesn't mean to say that every now and then somebody slips through the crack and is able to stay on the yard when they're fouled. So Shy G is telling me that, yeah, they found out that Booman was working with the police on the street and catching people's cases out there on the street. Again, I know Booman. So for me, it was kind of hard to fathom. Yeah, Booman had a lot of time, you know, but, you know, through the course of doing time with somebody, you can smell if there's something funny about someone. You know, the way they interact with you or the way they're always watching the unit, you know, not minding their business, just shit like that. But they weren't accused of Booman being like a jailhouse rat or anything. They were accusing him of calling home and putting people on cases on the street. So, but that all came about with the new dude that was in position to run the GD car. And they sent 3 dudes in to get Booman. But Booman already knew the move was coming, so he was ready for them. So when the 3 dudes came in, they came in there with padlocks, you know, thinking they were just gonna beat his brains in with the padlock. You know, they sell us these master locks that, you know, you either put in a sock Or better, you put in a belt. You know, we got belts in there. You put the belt loop through the hook and locks in, and wrap it around your hand so that way you don't lose it when you're on the confrontation. Now, anybody that has the string more than about 6 inches don't know what they're doing. When you have that lock on that belt, you only want to give it enough room so it doesn't spin around when you swing it and come back and hit you. So you only give it about a 4 to 6 inch leeway for you to be able to swing it. So what was told to me after the incident was from the dude that's in the block, 3 dudes went in there with padlocks. But Booman, you know, I've known him in Atwater. I was in with him in Lewisburg, and we were in DA, and he stayed with a piece. And when the dudes came in, he grabbed a hold of one of them and just started stabbing the dude while the other dude was busting his head with the padlock. The guy on the stretcher that they were pulling out was one of the 3 that went in there and tried to jump on him. So at the end of the day, like, Booman made it out good. He got 3 dudes and he punished one of them, you know. Like, I don't know all the details. No one was able to give any of the details of the incident because it was inside the room. But after the incident, you know, that's when everybody was saying that, yeah, dude was saying that Booman was fucked up, that he was out, you know, getting on the phone and catching people's cases on the streets. But again, I had a lot of interaction with Booman. You know, after I came out of the shoe, you know, when I first got to Florence, I got jumped. And after the 6-7 months that I was in the shoe when I came out, he was one of the first dude that came and blessed me. He's like, hey man, what you doing? Here's a little something, help you get back on your feet, you know. So I took a liking to Booman. And me, when somebody puts a jacket on somebody, I don't automatically run with it, because one, it depends on the source. Who is it coming from? Booman been in a few different spots and he never had no issue. And of course he could have been just starting that when he got to Florence, or been getting away with it because nobody know, but whatever. Well, after the smoke was cleared, it got back that Booman wasn't doing what he was being accused of. The dude that they put in position to be the GD shot caller in Florence, he himself was foul. But to put people off his scent, he set Booman up. And you have to understand that a lot of this kind of stuff happens in the penitentiary, where dudes have a beef with somebody, but it's personal, but he's in a position of authority, and he's a coward because he doesn't want to just go deal with a dude and punish dude or whatever. So he slandered and smeared someone's character, and then everybody else around him, because he's the shot caller, are taking his word on it. Well, this dude got this individual fucked up. First, he tried to get Booman fucked up by smearing him, sending 3 dudes to him. And then he got one of the dudes that was a soldier that was on a mission fucked off. But again, if you're going on a mission, especially in the penitentiary, if you're going at a target and you know the target is a gangster, you can't, you know, what's the saying? You can't bring a knife to a gunfight. And these dudes brought padlocks to a knife fight and got themselves hurt. At least one of them. You know, because after the incident, the next day when they call us out to chow, you know, in Florence, like I said, it's on, you know, the lieutenant's office and the chow hall are on the hill, and there's steps coming down that leads into all the unit. When we walk up past EB, you can see the trail of blood droplets leading all the way up the steps, all the way up into the kitchen. You know, in the hallway, they already cleaned it up, but out on the sidewalk, you see all the blood stain from the dude that was getting carried from the stretcher into the medic. But like again, it turned out that Booman wasn't a rat. He wasn't putting no case on anybody on the streets. It was a dude that was in position, that was a shot caller, had some type of personal beef with Booman, or maybe Booman knew something about him, and before word could get out, he was trying to eliminate dudes that could blow his cover. And I never got a chance to see Booman again after the incident, so I don't really know if he himself got hurt in the incident, but I hope that he made it okay, because I fought with Booman. Booman was cool. But it just to show you that, you know, I always try to say that men like us in a penitentiary conduct ourselves with integrity. But we're far and few in between. Even though we're in an environment that expects certain standards, there's always going to be a bunch of foul dudes there. And some of these foul dudes, somehow, some way, they are able to put themselves in a position of leadership. But at the end of the day, everything comes out in the wash. And later on, they end up punishing the dude. But I don't know the details about it, because, you know, when it comes to things like that, the gang members, they really don't speak on it. They really don't tell you the details of everything's going on, which is to be respected. You know, the only thing we really do on the yard is give each other a heads up so that we know it's going to be locked down, so people can prepare themselves for the lockdown, catch themselves a shower, or go get some food from the store, man, and stock up. You know, that's about the extent of the courtesy that we give each other. We don't really go into detail, reason why and whatnot. You know, I've been privy to a lot of information because I'm close with a lot of different people. But, you know, even here doing these episodes, there's a lot of things that I don't divulge out of respect for them. But if it's something that's public, something that everybody was able to see, you know, or something that I personally was involved in, then I don't have a problem divulging that. But as far as like intricate politics between different families and different organizations, you know, I want to honor their respect for me by just keeping it simple and just sharing you guys the stories. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter if you're a soldier, doesn't matter if you're a shot caller, anybody can be foul. Welcome to the USP.